Today's topic is inspired by, actually I read this book about two guys' friendship and they talk about insecurities. You're listening to
Jom Sembang, Malaysia.
So I never really understood the definition of insecurity lah. Okay. And then if you read it up on the internet, you're like, huh? So I was reading this book about a guy's friendship, and then this book seems to go very deep into the internal chats. So they talk about what are your insecurities, and then they started listing out the insecurities. Like, oh, like that also consider insecure. And then I started to reflect a lot on my own insecurities lah.
Okay.
Because I think everyone in life, no matter how stable or mature you are, you will at least have one insecurity in life lah. Okay, so I was just wondering, what is my insecurity? So you know me so long, right? What do you think is my insecurity? Trap question, she will say.
I think top of mind would be whether you performed well enough. Like, how did I do in this? Like, although you like gave your best, right? But then you're like, oh, maybe it wasn't enough.
So for me, I realized that when I sat down, one of my insecurities is actually, like what you say, whether I've done a good job. So at the back of my mind, if I do a production, everything runs smoothly, runs the way I wanted it, the lights turn on, turn off, or whatever, exactly time and whatever not, right? It looks like it's correct lah, because everything done on time, it should be a good show. But yet at the back of my mind, I'm always waiting for people to tell me that it was done. They don't have to tell me, wow, very good job. You know, everything is brilliant. Blah, blah. I just need someone to say, okay, what you've done is like good lah. Or it's like everything runs smoothly. That's it. You know, because a lot of the things we do in production are all back ends.
Yeah.
Like you want just someone to tell you, yeah, your decision on a yellow light and not a white light is correct. But you know, the audience, 1,000 of them, will not care whether it's yellow light or white light.
True. No, they would care if it was the wrong light.
Yeah. So when you get everything right,
yes,
and nobody say that you did it right,
yes,
then you sit down there like, good job, but doesn't feel like a good job.
Yes.
Then I will start to think, maybe it's not a good job, that's why people don't tell me anything. I mean, if it's good, they should tell me it's good, right? You know, and then you have friends who say, yeah, but you do it 10 times also good, what? So still need to tell you, man. You know, and I'm like, every time it feels different, and I feel that every time I still need a certain validation.
But I think that is the problem with behind the scenes jobs, you know. Even in admin, let's say, people only notice things when they go wrong. They don't notice that, oh, somebody is working in the background to make this happen. Somebody is making, you know what I mean? It's like, they only know when things don't turn up. Like, even if you order something via Shopee, it turns up, it's expected, ma.
Correct.
If it doesn't turn up, then only they complain.
Correct.
They won't say, good job, it turned up. But on your hand, you have put 120% effort into making sure that everything is smooth.
Correct.
Then I suppose it is the task of the people who know to remember lah.
I think it's for me, right? It's not so much as an ego boost. I'm not looking for an ego boost. I'm looking for acknowledgement of like, hey, I see that.
Yeah.
Not so much like, wow, you're so smart, you're so brilliant. It's more of like, hey, I see that. You know, I see that, oh, you purposely move that chair away from there because it's hot.
Yeah.
Or you purposely do this so that everything is smooth.
Yeah.
Like, you know, they can see the intention. So for me, right, acknowledgement of that is good because then I know whether I did a right or wrong thing. So what I'm looking for is actually constructive feedback.
Right.
So feedback can be good and bad. We always say feedback as if there's a bad element stick to it, right?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So for me, like if someone comes and say, hey Gina, I think just now this one can do like this. To me, that itself is the validation I need. I don't need someone to tell me I'm good. I just need someone to tell me whether I make the correct decision in certain production things lah.
Yeah.
You know, like for example, I say, okay, this chorus put longer or shorter, and then the audience won't know. But the music director or the actor can come and say, hey, that decision was good. That's all I needed.
Right. So that is something that I've learned more recently to do. I wouldn't say that I didn't know, but I think now I'm learning even more to be aware of these things. Because like in my peripheral vision, there are some things that I don't notice. But sometimes you like look at the whole thing, oh, it's very nice, but you don't see the details of it that actually made it nice, right? So now I'm learning to see that. So for example, a few weeks ago, I saw on Insta stories, friends were fixing lights in the auditorium. As in, they were adjusting, on the top of the stage. They've
Okay.
got those, what's the thing called? On top lah. They have
Yeah,
to climb on top of the stage and this scaffolding kind of thing. Quite scary. And then they're adjusting the lights. So I just saw that. And I'm like, oh, cool, And then 2 weeks later, I was in the same auditorium. And suddenly I noticed, everything does look brighter, Like the lights are in the right spot and everything. So when I saw my friend coming down after that, I said, whatever y'all did with the lights worked. Just to, like somebody noticed that they
correct.
bothered to do it. And then she went on about something about, but something went wrong. It was about the tree lights or something. She was talking about the tree lights. I said, you're talking Greek to me. So I don't know what you mean. But to me, everything was sharper. Even the projector looked brighter, like clearer. So for me, it worked lah.
Correct.
So thank you for the effort lah, But those small things that I think nobody else would know. But I wouldn't really have known if I didn't see the story. But I maybe would have known that, it does look brighter. How come today I noticed the people standing in front a bit clearer? So I remember like recently also you did something
So for me, it's more of the acknowledgement. So for example, you said recently, right? So I did all the backdrops. The lyrics lah, whatever lah, that needs to be on the projection, right? I can do it. And I know if I don't make a mistake, nobody complains.
Correct.
Okay? And then, but if I don't make a mistake, nobody complain, and you go up there and then finish, come down, they're like, everybody also can do what this backdrop. Then is it good enough? For me then, because there's no feedback, nothing, there's no acknowledgement, nothing, then I just think that, get someone else to do it lah, they also can do the same thing lah, it's the same thing lah, Okay? But when someone kind of say that, I realize your backdrop from 90 slides from beginning of slide to the end of slide cause subtle changes, subtle mood changes that correspondent with the content section. Then suddenly you go like, hey, someone get what I'm doing.
Somebody
so I must
noticed,
be doing a good job.
So yeah lah. So okay, so the other thing is from the consumer point of view, it's like, that's nice. And sometimes I might see, or we might see something that is nice, but we don't bother to point it out. And actually, people put the effort to make that something.
Correct.
Like the one that you did, you were just talking about, right? I was like pressing, then I saw, that icon very cute. Like, that's not normally in your slides.
Yeah.
It's a thing, and it's like, wow, it's a small detail. It's small. It actually was very small.
Very small, correct.
But it added a vibe to it, and everything that was like, I can see. This one is for this. This icon means this icon means this, right? And I thought, that's nice. I should mention that I noticed it, right? Otherwise, you'll be like, I put also nobody can, nobody see, right? Yeah. It's just
so
like,
for
feedback
me,
just nice only.
my insecurities was always thinking that I'm not good enough or I'm just average because people don't tell me that I'm good or I'm bad lah, okay? So for me, right, sometimes you do something so good, the first time they tell you you're good, the second time they tell you good, after they don't tell you anything.
Because they just assume that
they
you're
say,
always
this
good.
is your A game, so, but can someone please tell me that I always bring my A game? Instead of telling me, that's her normal A game, let's go. Because I think we take advantage of people always bringing the A game.
True.
And just to go like, that's just him lah. Shurita sing well all the time, just her lah.
Okay, so
but for all you know, she's singing like that today I think I suck. And nobody like validate that she didn't suck.
yeah, but that is my question, right? Do some things become kind of blind spot for you? So, for example, okay, I know this might sound a little bit perasan lah, but when I sing, unless I'm sick lah, it's like the most minimum requirement lah, the most basic, paling, at least I sing well lah. Okay, but I want to bring so much more. I want to make you feel something. I want to make you whatever
So
lah.
basically, you're saying that I can deliver the song. Yeah, whether I can deliver it and have other results is what you're saying, right?
So for me, sometimes if people go, you sang very well today. For me, right, it's like, I tak puas sebab sing very well is it's like typing without
the show went well today.
It's like, okay, it's like
no hiccup.
It's like I wrote an essay with no spelling error.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's
correct.
like
But you don't tell me whether the essay good or not.
Because I want the story to tell you something, ma. Don't tell me, there was no typo. Like, that, I don't know lah. But I suppose also people don't know how to maybe validate in a way that the right thing to say. I actually saw it on Google the other day. How to compliment or how to validate a creative artist. What are the things that would actually mean to them, mean
Yeah.
something to them? Yeah, so I think that's a good thing to learn so that people punya insecurities,
Yeah, so this is my
kurang.
insecurity lah. You all know how to deal with it lah. Because
Okay.
this insecurity that I have can really go beyond. So what I do is I might beat myself up by do such a job that nobody even notice is good
Yeah.
or bad. Like no one took notice. It wasn't a good notice or bad notice, but no one took notice kind of thing.
And then you go into blues after
And
that.
then I will go until like, then don't bother to do the next one lah. And then I'm not motivated for the next one.
Wow.
Or I would think that I'm not good enough, so the next one come there and say, just find someone else lah. That when they do, got people notice one.
Right.
So that is a regular insecurities I have.
Mm.
Even though I've done so many production, and you're like, oh, Gina looks like she have everything. Yes, I do have everything under control. I know what I'm doing. I can take charge of my pack and my tribe and whatever not.
Yeah.
But a little bit of a pat there, say, hey, good job with leading the tribe is all I needed lah.
I think that also comes when there was one recent one where we had a show, and that, at that point you were not involved. And then one of the artists asked, hey, Gina tak ada ke? Yang ni Gina tak ada ke? Like, yeah, why? Then you know, right, that, people notice.
Yeah, but then you see the guy never ever told me that.
But I told you lah.
Yeah. But he probably noticed it because we have been to a lot of trips together.
Yeah.
And I remember he told me he got gastric one.
Yes.
So every 2 hours, I'll make sure he have food.
Yeah, I also told him that. I say, you come, don't worry, you make sure every 3 hourly you get fed.
Yeah, that kind of small details that no one bothered lah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I remember when he told me that we were on a Perak tour, 7 days or 10 days.
Yeah.
So he told me on the first day. After that, every 2 hours, we definitely have a snack break.
Right.
Like, huh? They were like, Gina, can you just arrive already? No, we're having a snack break, or stop at the petrol station so that he can buy something.
Yeah.
Those are some things that, I think as a producer, there's a lot of small things like that I do lah. That sometimes I might tell, sometimes I don't tell. Yeah. So the recent one, what we did was I arranged for accommodation, right? And the organizer put us in the accommodation that I know it wasn't very good. But I also know he didn't have any choice because we are going to the poorest district in Malaysia.
Yeah.
Like that is their level of good.
Yes. Sure.
And I'm like, I think the guys might need to bring sleeping bag because they might not want to sleep on the mattress. I travel you all so long that I know that, a slightly smelly towel is no use or stuff like that. So I'm thinking mattress with stains might not work. Even though the stain might be clean, they have washed it, it's just stain,
Right.
Or
but the bedsheet is only wet.
Yeah. Or let's say, for example, I know the toilet might not be flushing. You just use a pail or something like that. So after that, I will do research and say, okay, half an hour, let's just move everyone to a different town. And I will make that decision without consulting. Otherwise, everyone will have different, I want a sea view. I don't mind a dirty bed or whatever not, Those are small things that is being done.
Right.
But of course, when you announce, then they were like, yeah lah, Gina is being the bossy, the one to do all the thing right one. Okay, she think that moving our accommodation is right. So once a while, having someone to say that, hey, thank you because actually I Googled it and I'm like, I also don't want to stay there, but I don't dare tell you.
That's my insecurity lah. Because I scared that as the artist, I know a lot of artists who are like, hell no, I'm not going to stay there. But I've already agreed to come to this area. Takkan I want to insist on something that is not there, right? And
that's not in the area lah.
Yeah, it's like a little bit ridiculous lah. And I've never really been to the travel, so I wouldn't know. If they tell me it's 1 hour away, I would think it's a bit far lah, right? So I did think, maybe you could stay in the nearest city, but so all those insecurities kick in. I'm like, okay, keep quiet lah. But then somebody else come and champion the cause. So yeah, thank you.
Yeah, so those are some of the things that I do lah. That sometimes I do question myself, even though it sounded right, because nobody comment whether it's good or bad. Then I will tell myself the next time, don't need do this kind of stuff lah. Why you do this kind of stuff, So it might be a correct thing to do, but I still beat myself up. That's my main insecurity. So after the break, we come and then I will share with you another insecurity I have that's more people related.
Today's episode was recorded at Studio 2105. Now, if you're looking to record a podcast like us, or if you're recording a demo, a song, an album, look up 2105 Productions or contact JD. They are on Twitter. They are on Facebook. They are on Instagram. Okay, Gina. So what's the other insecurity?
So the other insecurities I have is actually was brought up in the book that I was reading. So there was 2 characters in the book, right? And one of them admitted that their main insecurity is that they're afraid of losing that one best friend.
Mm.
And then it made me think about, because I'm very, how to say, from the beginning, I'm very intense with the people that I have friendship with lah. Put it that way. Like, it's a very intentional friendship, and there's non-intentional friendship, right? So I realized all the time that most of the friends that I grew close with were halfway through, and then maybe know a boyfriend and then just dump me, or got married and then dump me. Or when I was friends with, because I worked in the bank for a while, I have all the bankers' friends.
Yeah.
I could never fit in, I felt.
Okay.
So I always felt that when I'm having a conversation with them, or in the room, same room with them, talking or over meals or something, I always feel like I'm the pity person that they call along because you're working, but actually I cannot talk to you because we are different species lah. Okay, they'll be talking about finance, investment and all that, and I'm like thinking, hey, the bank logo is correct. I mean, that's my job scope, right?
Yeah.
You know, totally different. Like, I feel like I'm a boring species when it comes to them. So I will start to either just eat and drink and don't bother. I just need to be there for social purposes. They call me, but I can very well don't be there, that kind of thing. But sometimes they're so nice. They really treat me, they're a good friend. But I feel that I couldn't click into the good friendness of things, right?
The connectedness not so there. Okay.
Then I will start to feel very insecure, right? For example, if they go for lunch and they forgot to call me. Or actually they didn't forget. Maybe they saw that I'm busy, so they didn't call me. But at the back of my mind, I say, how come they never call me? Or let's say we go outing, you know, and then they didn't call me. Or they call me, but they put me in a car with some people that they don't like. Then I would think, maybe I'm also not liked by them lah. That's why I'm in this car that no one likes lah.
Okay.
You know, so I pay a lot of attention to, for example, how I'm being treated, or whether when we're traveling, who they put me in whose car, or like you see with her lah, or you see with him lah, or how they group people together. All this affect the way how I see my friends. Or so-called friends lah. Okay. And then I start to think like, I think maybe they are befriending me because they are pitying me. And then I will start sabotaging my own friendship.
Because you start to act awkward?
Because I'm really socially awkward to begin with.
Okay.
And then if they amplify that social awkward, then I just feel like, okay lah, since it almost feel like y'all don't really want me to be there anyway, because I'm not included. You asked me to join, but I'm not included in the outing, even though I'm in the outing. Then the next outing, I will, bye-bye. I just don't go. Y'all go enjoy yourself. Even though at the back of my mind, I probably wanted to go because we are friends.
Right.
So this insecurity of like being accepted by people as like they're genuinely loving you for who you are and accepting you for who you are is quite real for me, because every time in a group setting, if I'm socially awkward, so friends who can adapt to my socially awkwardness really works. Friends who like either make fun of it or whatever, but they're genuinely wanting to be friends. It's just that whole make funness would help me to sabotage that friendship. I will start to stay away, or I start to think that, she offered Jurita boba tea, never offer me. Yeah lah.
Right.
I'm just left out lah.
But is it that you tend to read more into things that might or might not?
Might or might not be true. That's
be
also a trait of the insecurity lah.
Yeah.
So what happens with these insecurities, we tend to overthink or over-imagine it lah. Or overread the room lah, put it that way lah. So I've noticed a certain pattern lah, I realized in my life. For example, even after I quit the bank, we still have a banker group. But then every time they meet, they just talk about bank and so, and how to naik pangkat, get a promotion and all that, without tapping in. Then I realized that if our common ground is work, the friendship cannot work. I cannot go out with you 5 times and I feel like I cannot talk because all you're talking about bank. And then when Gina talk, she's like, yeah, Gina's enjoying her life. She's no longer in the bank here. Like, there's no connectivity or something like that. But they're genuine about the friendship, then I will start to sabotage my own self.
But I'm just trying to think about my situation or my conversations with people. I've had conversations with people, or tried to, where it's really quite impossible to connect. And it's not really because they used to be in an industry that I'm not. Like yours, you used to be in that, but you're not anymore. But some people, I think, just don't have that insightfulness of talking about things that would actually draw you into the conversation.
Correct.
Yeah.
For me, a conversation or dialogue or friendship is supposed to be both give and take.
Yeah.
So when I realized that if a person doesn't give and take, maybe just take or maybe just give, then I will start to feel a bit like out of place in the person's life. Maybe so for example, if people call me and say, Gina, I need to pick your brain. Every time you text me, you need to pick my brain. You never call me once to drink without picking my brain.
You are a consultant inside their phone book there.
So for me, then I won't consider them friends, but they will consider me friend.
Oh, people have different definition of friend lah.
Yeah, that's also true lah. So I know I feel left out a lot of times in what I would call a friendship lah. So if there's a group outing or something like, everyone went for dinner and they didn't call me. I mean, the fact that I can go, cannot go is a different issue altogether. It's the invitation that matters, right? Or for example, let's say, it's just being included lah. So it's at some point when you feel like you're excluded, is when I start to like, okay, I would start distancing myself from the group.
Right.
Or sabotage that friendship. I've said, okay, I will just ghost them quietly. Since they didn't include me the 2-3 times anyway. Or since when I'm included, but it's more like sitting down there, I'm there, but I'm not included kind of thing. Those are some friendships that I start to fade away lah, which I think is not a healthy thing. That's why I call it my insecurity, because someone might try to befriend me, but I'm really thinking I'm not good enough to be the friend. I don't do enough. I'm not a good friend person. So like, why would this friend me lah?
Right. Yeah. The closest I can think of in relation to, and this is like really coming up at the top of my head, is Chinese New Year.
Okay.
So yeah, this might be sensitive if my Singaporean relatives are listening in. Don't lamara, okay? But generally, we all have father's side and mother's side of the family. So when I go to Singapore for Chinese New Year, for example, there is the morning relatives, which are my aunt side. Okay. And then in the afternoon is when my own family side, so my uncle, and I've known them since I was small lah.
Okay.
And although we don't always get along, but it's still, I feel like kind of a sense of belonging. I might not be able to strike up a conversation that I enjoy with all of them necessarily, but still I do find a sense of belonging. But on the auntie side, some of them, I know quite well. But it's a whole clan, right? Like you said, the whole clan lands on the house. And I always have this feeling of not fitting in. I feel like, I don't know, it's a very strange feeling. It's like everybody is there. And I feel like, why am I even here?
Some sort like that.
Even here? And it's very rare occasion that I actually get to sit down and talk with, again, introvert me. I need to have meaningful conversations. So if everything is just fleeting, I also feel I don't belong, So yeah, it's like that. And I've got this insecurity thing, like, do you think I'm weird? Do you think I'm this
Something
outsider?
Like
Yeah, I get that feeling. And sometimes I feel like, what if I just lock myself in the room? Would anybody notice? And they would. The problem is they would.
That's the biggest problem,
It's not that they don't accept me. No,
they
do.
They don't include you. But then when you go missing, they make a lot of noise about you being missing.
In that family, they do include me lah. They would know my name and everything. I'll get angpao and everything. So it's not like that.
Correct.
It's just I just somehow when everybody is there, maybe it's just that I don't do well in big crowds, and then I feel that awkwardness, that insecurity. And I found, right, that sometimes if I want to combat that, right, I have to just go into the mindset that I am going to be that socialite. I am going to, like, remember we had one with Meg and you're like, I'm just going into the room, I'm going to shine.
Yeah.
There's so much energy to do that. Like, and it's early in the morning. I haven't even woken up properly yet. But I do have that every year. So even now, I'm like, that anxiety is setting in about, okay, Chinese New Year is coming.
Yours is like 4 months ahead, 3 months ahead.
No, because I have to buy ticket and everything, right? And I'm like, yeah. And it's been a few years since I was actually there in that situation. So now it's like kind of, okay, go back into it. Or
but sometimes in that situation, you just need someone to say that, hey, I'm glad you're here.
Yeah, I
Whether
think
their
so.
body language says that or whatever, So for example, like I've missed a few clan gatherings.
Mm.
Mainly because the last few years I felt that my cousins were being cousins. They were just talking among themselves. And then outside of the group, they always invite each other to go for cafe hopping or whatever. But I was never invited. Of all the cousins in KL,
Right.
I was not invited. So I always felt that they don't like hanging out with me.
Okay.
Maybe might be true because we are very different personality and all that. So
Possible, yeah.
when it comes to gathering, right, then I feel like, okay, today I don't have the energy to entertain or be with people who don't want to be with me anyway. So I don't go lor. But once in a while, my aunt will say, hey, haven't seen you for a long time. So if I do go, I will just go there just to tell my aunt, hi, I'm here. Because at least people got us. Haven't seen you for a
True.
long time. Okay?
True.
So it's that kind of things that insecurities also can work, can backfire on you in certain ways. Maybe people already make you feel excluded. Then for people like me, somewhat, okay lor, so that excuse myself, so that you don't have the social awareness of trying to be friends, right?
Yeah.
But that might not be the case from the other person at all.
Yeah, true.
So it has backfired on me quite a few times. Because I will go on certain friends group, right? When I'm working, there's a lot of different groups. There's the banking group, but there's also banking group got the loan group, then the credit card.
Yeah.
And all of them have different, they feel like, like, and so yeah lah. So I might have backfired a few, but I do realize that if it's not a group, some of them is just individual. I can connect to the individual and that's it. I will feel quite okay with it.
Okay.
Unless the individual also like lukewarm one. Then I'll be like, hey, you are friends or not? Like, am I not good enough a friend for you to be a friend? So are we friend or not friend? Yeah, of course I run a lot of my life based on the friendship that I have.
Okay.
So I need to know whether you're the kind of friend that I can call when the car breaks down. Or I don't call when the car breaks down, Or are you the kind of friend that I can call at 12 o'clock and say, hey, I cannot sleep, you haven't sleep, okay, let's go drink. Or let's go and teh tarik. Or you're the kind of friend that cannot want. So that I know exactly
but
who
you're okay
I can
lah.
go to.
Some
for
really
which
cannot
need.
because there are other
Correct.
whatever
But there are
responsibilities.
so you know exactly this one got different expectation. Every friendship have expectation.
Correct.
So I just need to know each friendship expectation so that I can know how to function accordingly. Like for example, I know that I could never call you at 2 a.m. and say, come yum cha. That might not happen.
11 p.m. also cannot.
Yeah. So I have my yum cha friend that I can call at 2 a.m. Or I also ask some of their friends, they'll call me and like, okay, Gina, I need to talk, okay, whatever, So I also have friends, for example, last time, like before they got married, say, hey, I need to do laundry. And then we all go do laundry at 11 a.m., 11 p.m., that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So knowing the expectation, but when you have something, for example, that makes me feel uncomfortable, then I don't know where I function, I will just pull out. Then my insecurity caused me to lose a friend. Or a potential friend. Or already a friend. I don't know.
But does that actually matter?
In a way, it does lah. Because every day our life is connected with people.
Correct. My question is, so okay, I've got friend 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Anyway, we are scientifically proven that we cannot be close with more than 10, right? Or whatever. And if you've already got this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Okay.
And then there is 6, 7, and 8 that like, okay lah, let go lah. Wouldn't you say that actually it's okay? Or
it doesn't matter lor.
So
for me, it's not how many friends I have. It's knowing exactly where I am with the person.
Right.
Okay, knowing where you are with the person is easy. Knowing where you are in a group of friends is difficult.
That is true.
That's the part that I'm always like, especially if you're a group of 5, then you go like, oh, that 2 always good friend, this 2 good friend. I'm just the bystander lah. They only call me in the group because 5 better to walk around lah, So I will start to feel that kind of things.
Right.
So for me, I'm struggle a little bit more with group friendship because I would never know where I stand.
True. But in general, I think it's more of one-to-one lah.
But generally, I think overall we're talking about insecurities, right?
Yeah.
Whatever your insecurities is, the definition of insecurities for me lah, it's not a fear of height lah, fear of what, it's not that kind. But it's that fear of being out of control or not in control of certain things that you weigh heavily on.
That you care a lot about.
Yeah. It's a fear. So insecurities is a definition.
Okay.
But fear of being not in control of something that you worry or you care about that weighs a lot for you lah.
So what would you say are some possible solutions or to help cope with, or not cope, or to reduce?
I think the first thing to acknowledge it lah. The fact that I'm having this episode and acknowledging my you need to first acknowledge that you do have an insecurity instead of going around and say, no, I'm okay, I can friend everybody. Then you are cowering up lah. Or for example, like just now I talked about, like I just want acknowledgement at work. Or the things I do. If I say that out loud, it sounds a bit egoistic. Like, hello, please praise me. Or please acknowledge me. But if that is my insecurity, then I need to first acknowledge that I have this problem. And then I need to find someone who can help me to overcome it. So for example, telling my partner that, hey, if I do something right, you must tell me. If I do something wrong, you must tell me. Nothing also don't say, then it's not working for me. So you have to acknowledge it and then find someone to help you to walk you through it.
And be open enough to have a conversation about it. Like, I think there are also people that we can have conversations with. And some people, like, no point trying.
Correct.
I don't know. For me, they're like,
So it's quite important to just, talk about it. I mean, especially to your close 5 friends. So that they can help you, because insecurity can cause anxiety and depression.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So to make sure that we are not down that path, you have to first acknowledge that you have. So
Okay, look about it.
Jom Sembang Malaysia is hosted by 2 Malaysians who are passionate about Malaysian stuff.
Stay tuned every week for a brand new Sembang session with Cerita Suito and Gina Yap Layung.
Today's episode is recorded at Studio 2105.
Remember to click like and subscribe for the brand new episode next week.